Learn fractional equivalents to key recurring decimals. Recurring decimals do not terminate or end. They are numbers that continue forever. The number 0.3333 and so on will go on forever, always with recurring threes. We can also write this as 0.3 with a dot above the 3 to show that the 3 is what is recurring. 0.16666 is different. At the beginning, there is a 1 and a 6, but it is only the 6 that is recurring. We only need to put a dot above the 6 to indicate it is just the 6 recurring. 0.11111 would just be 0.1 with a dot above the 1. 0.3333 or 0.3 recurring is equivalent to 1/3. 1/3 is equivalent to 33.3 recurring percent, often rounded to just 33%. These are both the same as 0.3 recurring. These three values are all equivalent fraction, percentage, and decimal values. This is a well-known recurring decimal that you should be aware of and try to remember. 1/3 means 1 divided by 3. 33.3 recurring percent is 33.3 recurring out of 100. 0.3 recurring gives the equivalent decimal for these values. We can see this more clearly when we do the calculation 1 divided by 3. How many 3's go into 1? Because we know this is going to be a decimal, we can put in our decimal points and zeros into our bus stop straight away, since we know we will need them. How many 3's go into 1? 0. We put in our decimal point and then carry over the 1. How many 3's go into 10? 3, with remainder 1, since 3 times 3 is 9. How many 3's go into 10? 3 again. We can now begin to see why this is a recurring decimal. We're getting the same remainder each time because our answer is the same and we end up with 0.3 recurring. Another common recurring decimal is 0.66666 and so on. You may notice there is a relationship between these recurring values. We can show this with just 0.3 and 0.6. 0.3 times 2 equals 0.6. 0.3 recurring times 2 equals 0.6 recurring. If 0.3 recurring is equivalent to 1/3, then 0.6 recurring must be equivalent to 1/3 multiplied by 2. This is the same as 2/3. 0.6 recurring is equivalent to 2/3, or 2 divided by 3, or 66.6 recurring percent. This can be a simple one to remember if you know that 0.3 recurring is 1/3. This makes it easier to work out that 0.6 recurring must be double this and therefore equals 2/3. Now we go back to 0.3 recurring, which is equivalent to 1/3. We also have 0.16 recurring. We should be able to recognise that this is another case of doubling. If we divide 0.3 recurring by 2, this is the same as 0.16 recurring. So it makes sense that we also need to divide 1/3 by 2. You may think this becomes 1 over 1.5. However, this is incorrect. We cannot have a decimal number as a denominator. We need to think about what we are doing here. Using a diagram, if we have 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3, we want to halve a third. Halving each of these makes them sixths. So, in fact, half of 1/3 equals 1/6. This is how we work out that 0.16 recurring is equivalent to 1/6. Using our knowledge that 0.3 recurring is 1/3 and that 0.16 recurring is half of this, we have worked out that 0.16 recurring is equivalent to 1/6. If we start again with 0.3 recurring, 1/3, we can see that 0.1 recurring is 0.3 recurring divided by 3. We want to do the same with the fraction, dividing 1/3 by 3. Last time we were dividing by 2. This time we are dividing by 3. This gives us ninths. This means 0.1 recurring is equivalent to 1/9, as it is 1/3 the size of a third. If 0.1 recurring equals 1/9, then 0.2 recurring is double this, which is 2/9, as we double 1/9. We can use other recognisable or memorable recurring decimals to work out what other recurring decimals are equivalent to.